Hi folks, I'm glad you could join me. My name is Nick and I'm glad I've got your moral support because I might need it to get through this game. But it's on the ZX Spectrum 3D pool published by Firebird Software in 1989. I think it was later called Maltese Joe's Pool Challenge or something like that. Now I reviewed this game on the Commodore Amiga a while back and I was told at the time that it's pretty hopeless on the ZX Spectrum, so me being the twit I am, I wrote it on my to review list and we've got up to it. Now the game also come out on the Amstrad CPC, the BBC Micro and the Commodore 64 if you're interested in 8-bit gaming, which I am. Essentially it's pool, me versus the computer. We're going to do a tournament, but there's lots of different modes which I'll cycle through. You can do practice, you can choose the strength of your ball, whereabouts in the cue ball you want to hit it. Essentially get all your colours and then the black ball at the end, but I'm sure you know pretty much about pool already. You start off in the quarterfinals of the tournament and must progress to the final. Oh dearie me, oh dear. Right, okay, so we can rotate the table around. That's quite clever on the Spectrum. This is going to struggle. Now look at the colours. We think we've got, yeah, solid colours and stripy colours it looks like. And the black somewhere in the middle. Right, place the cue ball. See how easy this is to control. At the moment I'm a little bit worried here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Right, but I've potted a ball. There's a power gauge on the top right. I wanted to make that a little bit higher. Maybe if I hold down the fire button it'll let me do so. But let's just split up the pack a little bit. Yeah, I think this is going to come under the category of well-coded but terrible game. But we'll soon see. With Paul, the playability is very important as with lots of games. But there's no cue. There's no cue that turns up or any line of sight. Definitely need a line of sight here. Right, it's the computer's go. And I'm playing against No Good Nick. Yeah, was that meant to happen? No Good Nick versus Really Good Nick, maybe. Or not. Or two No Good Nicks. Nick. Let's try and line this up. No, it's the computer's go still. He's saying, so it's still his go. Right, I didn't think he potted anything. I won't be coming back to this game. I don't like it already. Let's just keep playing. Maybe it'll get exciting. It's very hard to line stuff up. It's hard to see what colours you're supposed to be potting. The table seems very narrow to me for a pool table. The pockets, that centre pocket, you can just about see, doesn't really quite seem centre. Is that going in? No. It's brave of them to take on this. This is 48K, 1989, so it's quite near the end of the ZX Spectrum's run. So, did this have a place in gaming for people to buy? I don't think so. Hopefully the computer hits all the balls in, because I don't want to be hanging around in this game too long. If you owned it back in the day, then let me know. What did you think about it? Did you think it was brilliant? Did you think it was the bee's knees? Or did you think it was a frustrating pool game simulator that you hated? Always interested to see your views. But different like angles we can do on here. We can go top down. We can rotate it wherever we want to. Cue ball's flashing like a black bowling ball. The cue ball looks huge all of a sudden. Looks like a medicine ball's on the table. Right, let's just do that. Can I get the power gauge to go up? Maybe if I... There we go. So I've got it up a little bit there. Anything going to go in? Yes, I heard something going. I do like the sound of the balls hitting each other. That's good. And when the ball goes into the pocket, that's a sort of like a... Well, it doesn't sound like a ball going to a pocket. It sounds like a 50p being dropped into a jar of loose change. But anyway, at least it's different sounds. I think I did a foul there and potted the wrong ball. But anyway. If you do a foul, your opponent gets a free ball. In this game, you can do two-player against a human opponent or against the AI. If you have a lot of goes on this, you're going to get gradually better, but why would you bother? Yeah, I'm going to struggle to keep this review interesting, I think. Yeah, I've run out of stuff to say already. No referee, no points going up. The one good thing about this is, at least it isn't snooker, because that will go on forever. I'm trying to see the colours on this. Mind you, snooker might have worked a bit better. I don't know why they couldn't have gone for solid colours in this. The Amiga version had yellows against reds. So at least you've got a bit of a line of sight where you are. Because of the 8-bitness of this, it's very hard to line stuff up without a sort of like a line on the table. Steve Davis snooker on the ZX Spectrum. Check my review out of that. You only had like well, top-down view really on that one, I think. But you know, it works slightly better, although it wasn't a very good game, to be honest. Cue ball's not too bad. It's probably the best one of the lot. This is attempting a lot with the 3D-ness of it, and I don't think it quite works as in terms of game playability as a playable game. How are we doing? We're about 5 minutes in, and there's still lots of balls left on the table. Oh no. I don't think kids would have been playing this over and over again, to be honest with you. The ZX Spectrum is probably the system that's got the most games ever of any computer. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I don't know how many the Commodore 64 had. But the Spectrum, people are writing games all the time on this. You'll see them everywhere. And with a choice of almost infinite games, I don't know why you'd come to play this. Much better to go and find a real pool table near you and play on that. Mind you, if you're a kid, the pool tables are in pubs, aren't they? So it would be a bit suspicious if me and my friends went in, ordered a pint of Stella, and then started playing pool as we asked for a box to reach the table. That would have looked a bit strange. So maybe this was your only choice. Those tables, look, those pockets are more like flippers, black holes to suck the ball up on the side of the table. Yeah. Come on, computer, just pot everything. It's stripes against solid colours here. I don't know where the black ball is. If you pot the black ball out of sequence, like before you potted all of your own colours, then you forfeit the game. But of course, we all knew this, didn't we? Let me know what your favourite pool game is of all time. Doesn't necessarily need to be on the ZX Spectrum. I think on the PlayStation 1 I reviewed a pool game as well. On the Commodore Amiga, Arcade Pool was quite good. Or Archie McLean's Arcade Pool, that was a good one by Team 17. I quite liked enjoying that. And there's some mini games in Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. I think in 4 you definitely play pool. I think 5 you do as well. Maybe. Can't remember. But it's come a long way since this. If this game had come out in 1985, maybe I could let it off a little bit. It's trying to be clever, but trying to be clever with 48K. I've said it before, with ZX Spectrum games, keep it simple, and then they tend to lead to the best games, really. It's all about playability back then. Is that going to fluke in? No. Great. No, it's not great, is it? It's terrible. It's boring. I'm a good fan. I do like pool. Now, that helps with games like this. But even though I like pool, I don't like this whatsoever. Definitely don't want to do a tournament that goes on and on and on. Maybe practice to get the best out of it. But I'm going to keep saying it in this review. With no proper way of lining stuff up. It's just how you think line of sight. Maybe like a real pool table perhaps. But it's just too... It's not precise enough for the aiming, and I don't know why. The ZX Spectrum was never going to be that precise with aiming, so you needed a dotted line to at least help you or show you a bit of what was going on. It's just too random, too difficult, this. Hopefully the AI is a bit better than me and can start potting some soon, because if this goes on for half an hour, I'll edit it down, because no one's going to watch this for about half an hour. You're going to struggle, to be honest with you, to watch it for 10 minutes. Things that make you go, Come on, no good Nick. Put the other Nick out of his misery and just pot everything. Get the black, and we'll say it was good to review it, as we try and review everything ever, but not to come back to ever again, unless we've done it in error. Don't know what Firebird Software were thinking with this one. One of my favourite Firebird Software games is a completely different genre to this, and it's the Wild Bunch. Have a look at my review of that. That went up, well, a long time ago. Maybe when I first started reviewing Spectrum games. It was one of the early ones. Where you play a guy in the Wild West, a sheriff, where you must go around and catch the 5 members of the Wild Bunch. It's pretty good, actually. Pretty good. So, in terms of Firebird games, play that before this. Or never. Even the poker sub-game in that game is better than this. Right, how are we doing now? Still the computers go. Go in. Yes, it went in. Right, good. Right, it just needs the black ball. That goes in. Right, we're out of our misery. Hurrah! So the computer has won in the 3D pool championship. Well, I hope you liked having a look at that. Yeah, I bet you did, didn't you? Well, anyway, that was 3D pool on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Firebird Software in 1989. Now, if you had any comments about this game, the ZX Spectrum, retro gaming in general, or even pool or snooker, then you're more than welcome to put that below. Quite often I will read those comments and answer them as well. Until next time, take great care of yourself if you're not asleep, and very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.